We got a lot to do today. Toddfather, Pierzynski, Scotty B. But Todd, it is a sad day. We're going to talk more about this tomorrow because the game will happen and then we'll recap it. But today's the last day that we will see Major League Baseball in Oakland, California for at least a very long time. We're not in a league that works quickly. So if you are hopeful that the sport will eventually return to Oakland, I'm with you. But for now, it ain't happening for many years. It might be planted in Sacramento for many years, but not in Oakland. So there's a lot of emotions and tearing and all kinds of feels going on out in Oakland right now.
Without a doubt. And there's going to be, you might see some craziness going on. Fans trying to storm the field to get a base. I mean, let's not get in dirt. Guys are going to pick up dirt, grass, whatever, steal a chair. There might be a little craziness going on tonight. Hopefully nothing to the likes of people getting hurt or anything, but fans aren't happy. So they're boosting up the ticket prices as usual. Your shirt, I think, says it all. And at the end of the day, man, it's a sad day. Oakland had a lot of great memories there. I love playing there. I thought it was fun for the, handful of games that I did play there. And that's why the sport's great. You get to go to a stadium like that, and the fans are, crazy over there. They want their team to win so bad. But, yeah, it's just a shame that it really come down to this. So the last game.
Yeah, we'll start with Oakland today. We'll end with Oakland today. It's a cool video from yesterday, but there have been a million things wrong about this whole process. Mm-hmm. The part that really bothers me is how certain people are smug about it, right? Like we've heard in the past, oh, they showed up for the boycott game. That's an average game or whatever BS they said. Today they'll probably say, the billionaires behind the scenes, oh, maybe we should just threaten to leave every day and we can raise ticket prices and sell out games. It's just gross. And people dedicate their life to teams and sports and so much of their time, and time is precious. So when you get ripped like this for doing nothing wrong as a baseball fan, it sucks. Fans fund the game. We don't have the business of baseball without it. You have the game, which is great, but you don't have this. So this is a punch.
But this could have been avoided in so many ways.
Yes.
As we've discussed for a couple of years now, but it's sad. And you know what? The people are coming out because they want to see their friends one last time. They want to see people they shared memories with one last time in a place where they shared those memories. Mm-hmm. The Coliseum. I played a lot of games there. I played playoff games there. It wasn't the best place in the world, but I have memories there. It's going to be missed. Sacramento, I played Sacramento too. And the only thing I remember about Sacramento is it sucked, the stadium. And this was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was brand new. And you're like, this isn't a big league park. This was, 2000, almost 25 years ago. And the city was fine, but, I mean, it was like, all right, this is definitely a AAA stadium, and they're playing in a AAA stadium next year. So I feel for the fans. I feel for the people that work there, the workers. Like, they forget the grounds crew, the concession people, the ushers, all the people that have been there for a long time. It's just sad end to an era, and it's a sad way to end, but I feel like there could have been a better way for this to be handled.
Of course. And also, when you talk about a stadium being in poor condition, there's a really easy way to fix that. The person that owns
put some money into it. Which
exactly
one?
Either one, but the person that owns that stadium can make it better.
But Fisher doesn't own that stadium, so let's also say this then.
Yeah, but John he can Fisher, improve the stadium.
Yes, but he doesn't own the stadium, right? So, and there's also they're not demolishing the stadium at the end of the year. So people that are like destroying the stadium, stop, because there's still going to be people that are going to go there for different things. I don't know what they're going to use it for, but they're not like demolishing the Oakland Coliseum at the end of the day. I mean, they're using I don't know if the Ballers are playing there or what's happening, but there's still going to be events that are held there. So please don't destroy the stadium. Protest how you want, like the guy who gave the finger after he caught the foul ball, fine. But let's not get destructive on this.
Other teams are going to play there. Obviously not major league teams, but you can play
that's what I'm saying.
Other games.
Other people are going to use the stadium. They're not getting rid of it.
Yeah. They'll probably take better care of it than the billionaire who's been shunning everyone in baseball. So anyway, just wanted to say we're thinking about them. Yes. I think you can pretty clearly see the acronym on my shirt today. Shout out to our friends at Last Dive Bar. They make the best A's fan merch. I know they're out there. I know they're feeling it today. So we're thinking about you all. This is a historic day and not the kind that is pretty. Let's get to games. Yeah, let's charge the damn mound.
Yeah.
I always knew that AJ was trying to be a DJ. Actually, you are going to love. I have news. It's in a couple weeks. I'll tell you after the show. I can't announce it yet to the world, but I have a music-related news item for you.
For you or for all of us?
No, it involves me. It's going to potentially blow your mind. So I'll wait. Nice teaser. Everyone else will find out in, I think it's exactly 2 weeks. But let's get to biz. Toddfather, the Detroit Tigers are definitely a thing. They look like they're near a lock for the postseason at this point. They can't stop. The top pitching prospect in baseball happened to just pop in and finish the game yesterday. A 7-1 dominant performance from start to finish. I watched the whole damn thing. They looked really good against Tampa Bay. I know it's the Rays, and they're kind of cruising towards the finish line here. But, man, this team has everything going their way. You know, defensively, too, there's some balls where you're like, oh, that's a 50-50 ball. It's getting caught, right? Everything's clean. The pitching's good. Montero struggled early to find fastball command, then figured it out. They didn't give him a very long leash because Hinch is doing his thing. But what are you seeing from this Detroit Tigers ball club right now? They put up a 7 spot.
Yeah, I mean, the game before I was watching on TV, I was like, at the end of I haven't watched much of the Tigers. You know, you hear from them. You think about some big names, you know, like a Javi Baez, he's not there, you know, like stuff like that. And you got these guys that are just going out there and playing for each other, you know, and I think that starts up top with the coaching staff and the manager and all those guys. It's, you know, 0-0. Tariq Skubal comes in and just dominates the whole time going out there. He's a guy that's not to be messed with. You think about this. They, you know, say they go to Houston. You think that's going to be that should be an automatic W. That's one win for Detroit right there, and then they're going to have to find a way to muster up another one. These guys, they play together. They're not afraid of the big moment, and you know the fans out there in Detroit are excited. They are getting after it a little bit. They understand they have a good Lions team, but they also know, hey, listen, don't forget about our Tigers out here. We're doing some damage, and what an unbelievable comeback to a season they've had.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They were dead. They were dead. And listen, Tariq Skubal was going to win the Cy Young. He should win it unanimously, much like Chris Sale is going to in the other league. The thing about them is Parker Meadows, Riley Green. Who else do we want to name off this team that's hit? Sweeney, their shortstop, has come out of nowhere and done it. People said they questioned that trade with the Dodgers. Like, Sweeney, yeah, he's okay, but you know, is he going to be an everyday player? He's filled in unbelievably for Javi Baez. I mean, these guys have done a lot of things, and they mix and match so well. AJ Hinch, we call him Hinch on the show, Todd. We don't put the AJ, just Hinch from now on. Hinch does a great job mixing and matching. The way he uses his bullpen, Montero couldn't find it. He found it eventually, and once he found it, he gave him enough innings to where he could get into the meat of his bullpen, Holton and some of these other guys, and then we saw Jackson Jobe come in and finish it. But AJ Hinch deserves a ton of credit because of where they were not weeks ago. But also, let's not forget this. 2 teams had to crumble for them to even be in this position. Kansas City's righted the ship a little bit. Minnesota has not. That's why they're not in the postseason. If Minnesota and Kansas City play 500 baseball, we're not talking about the Tigers right now. So, yes, unbelievable run for Detroit. I love turning into the games. You got Benetti, you got Carlos Pena, you got Kirk Gibson. You got all these guys talking about it. And one of the best places to play in the world and go when the fans are into it is Comerica Park. It's an incredible place. They get into it. They're on top of you. They're Detroit proud. And they are just yelling and screaming in your ear. So I'm happy for that fact. And hopefully, if they get in or if they don't get in, which I think they're probably going to get in right now, but even if they don't, this helps them spend money in the offseason. We talked to Hinch about it. Spend money, build momentum, and when they go into next year, they got to be, if not the favorite, one of the couple favorites in the AL Central for next year.
If they don't get in at this point, it's a collapse.
Yeah.
Just because of their lead. They're up 2.
They're only one game.
No, they're up 2. Why is it
yeah.
Because the Twins have the tiebreaker.
But they still have to make up 2 games.
They do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yes, I agree.
But they can't end up tied. They can only give up 1 game. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
They can only give up 1 game.
But it's still technically 2.
Technically it's 1 because if
I get what you're saying.
Because if they give up 2 games, it's over. They lose.
Then they are
they can
tied
only give up
and
1
they
game.
lose. Yes, you're right. You're right. Semantics on how we're saying it, but yes.
Yeah, and
True.
but think about this as well. Like they play the White Sox to finish off too, so that is very helpful for the Tigers. The Tigers are in my opinion.
The Twins go where to end? Where do the Twins end?
The Twins end with Baltimore, who they're now suddenly playing better. They've got some momentum against the Yankees.
They miss Burns. Baltimore's.
We'll get to Rodriguez later. Who they
they're
lost.
guaranteed they're guaranteed the one spot in the wild card, I should say. So
yes,
although I will say this, if Baltimore wins today against the Yankees, there's still a very, very minute possibility they could win the division.
Yes.
So they have to at least play. The problem is the Royals now. The Royals have to play the Braves.
Yeah.
Because of the way MLB handled this weather crap, they're going to get Sale, Fried, Schwellenbach, the three best for the Braves. And the Royals got to win too because the Royals aren't out of the water either on this.
No.
I'm telling Scotty, I told you this, brother. I told you this. They got swept by the Giants. Remember I said before, I said, listen, I'm looking on here like, all right, 2 games is a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's like they got to play the Bravos, bro. Oh my God. This is what I love about baseball. The last week is just incredible because it's going to go like this. It's going to, I hope for the best for all these teams, especially Kansas City, because the way they started, they were the only team that really went out and dominated the offseason with pickups. So I give them credit. So let's see.
You mentioned the White Sox. Let's go back to that for a moment. Grady Sizemore is moving Garrett Crochet to Friday. The quote, with Detroit where they're at, I think it's going to make for good baseball. They're going to be competing for a playoff spot. We want to throw our best guy up against this team that's fighting for a playoff spot. These are our rivals. Now, some people were joking, what's he going to get, 3 innings?
Yeah, that was my point. What's he going to throw, 3 innings?
Still good 3 innings.
Yeah, but what happens if he goes out and gives up 5 runs?
Yeah, then it doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying, you'd rather have his stuff than others.
True. I mean, it was either him or Flexen. They moved Flexen today. They're throwing him on Friday. Cool. Like, I get it.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's something to talk about. But at the end of the day, again, he's on a 60-pitch limit. So that 4 innings at most?
Yeah. 4 good innings.
It's a good idea.
That's only 1 short of what most starters do these days.
That's true.
You know? It's still like 4 innings. Why don't you like it?
It's over. It doesn't mean anything. What happens if he goes up there and all of a sudden he feels something? I hate to be that guy. What happens if he feels something in his arm? You know what I mean? Like, dude, he had a great year. Just, let him ride off into his little end of the year, watch a couple games and, enjoy the rest of it. This game doesn't matter to them. Okay. I get it. It matters to, teams do it all the time. All right, we're done. We don't want to hurt anybody, or, we're changing things up. I just don't agree with it. I think he's had a great year. Just let it be.
Okay, so 2 things. 1, he might be pitching them out of a record if the White Sox don't stop winning. I mean, they're trying to avoid the 121. And it's the last few innings he's ever going to pitch.
What's great about today is great for the White Sox.
He's going to get traded. This is the end of his career with the White Sox.
Best part of today for if you're a White Sox fan or an Angels fan, and you go to the game today at guaranteed rate, you're going to see history.
Yes.
Because either the White Sox are going to break the all-time record for losses, or the Angels are going to set their franchise record for losses. So either way, and by the way, if you haven't watched this series and you love, Scott, you say you love car crashes.
I do.
Watch this series because it has not been good baseball.
Yeah, but these are like car crashes where you already know they're going to crash.
But you would think like catching pop-ups is hard for them.
Yeah, I know.
Base running, like all the little things that you just take for granted when you watch a big league game. These 2 games haven't had any of that stuff. It has been like watching a high school game sometimes.
Yes, more into
walks, just all kinds of stuff.
More into the Twins level car crash, which we'll get to later. But anyway, for now, the Tigers and the Royals are in the driver's seat. They both have 2-game leads with how many games left to play?
3 or 4.
3 or 4, depending on if you're playing on Thursday
Mariners have
today.
3 because they're off today.
Mariners, I cooked them a few weeks ago. I know they're 2.5 back, but anyway, it's the Tigers and Royals. That's the little fight going on in the AL wildcard and the Twins. Here it is one more time, okay? We'll get to the National League in a moment. And then you've got a Twins team that did win for Rocco Baldelli on his birthday. I want to get to those Carlos Correa comments later. We can move that to that's what he said and get to it there. But all you have to do if you're the Tigers and Royals is what? Basically two games, win 2 games?
If the Tigers go 3-1, they're in.
Right.
Or the
Royals. Go 3-1. Win 3 of your next 4 games. You don't have to watch a single scoreboard.
And the Royals are down 1-0 already because guess what they did? They dropped the pop-up.
No way.
No way.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. They're going through it.
What's his name? Garcia, I think he's second baseman.
Michael
Garcia. Yeah, dropped the pop-up to
Oof.
Yeah.
The problem, I know we got to jump. The problem with Kansas City, they can't hit. I mean, even yesterday, like they're barely putting any offense together right now. They have no pop. I know it's a tough ballpark. They're not in their ballpark right now. They're in Washington. I know it's probably a neutral-ish park, but they haven't hit a home run in like 10 days.
Didn't they hit one yesterday? Did they
I
hit
don't
one
think
yesterday?
so. I don't think so. I mean,
Oh.
it's going back and forth.
If Bobby Witt isn't
No.
going, they ain't going.
They didn't hit a homer
Bobby
yesterday.
Witt's getting some hits, but he's not hitting homers.
No, he's not. So anyway, it is
They
wild.
need the Pasquatch, baby.
Yeah, they miss Vinny P. So next up, Tim Healey is standing by, and he is going to tell us why we have 2 games on Monday between the Mets and Braves. FT fam, if you're looking for a cheap/affordable option for meal replacement, for a little protein addition, cheers. I can drink this.
Can you?
I can. This is Orgain.
Nice.
I have smooth chocolate, the plant protein shake version, but there is also the non-vegan version for those of you interested with 35 grams of protein. Mine's a little 16 grammer, 22 vitamins and minerals, all in one nutrition. Cheers. AJ, describe the flavor because that's the separator here.
It is good. You know what the problem with most protein shakes is? It's gritty.
Mm-hmm.
So when you swallow, you get like the grit. And Orgain doesn't have that. It's more like chocolate milky. The
Very
flavors
chocolate
I've had,
milky.
at least.
Yes.
It's much smoother, much easier to drink. And if Scott can drink it, anybody can drink it.
That's good
Exactly.
stuff. Yeah, it's true.
That's a good phrase, actually. I think I might
You're
let
like
them
Mikey.
have that.
You're like Mikey from the Life cereal. Like Mikey used to.
Yeah, Mikey
oh,
likes
Mikey
it.
Eat anything. You're
Scotty
like,
likes
Scott
it.
can't eat that because Scott has
Mikey
all
like
kinds of
it.
problems.
Yeah, that was a classic. But yes, even I can have it. So they're the leader in real protein-powered nutrition. They understand being good for you does not have to taste bad. That's a big part of why they put this all together. So check out Orgain's protein shakes. You got the 30 grammers. You got the ones I'm talking about here that I love that obviously are dairy-free as well. And for the FT fam, they're available at Costco and at Orgain.com/foul. If you go online, you get the discount. So why wouldn't you do that? You don't even have to spend any money on gas or do anything. It'll come to you. The promo code's FOUL for 20% off your order at orgain.com/FOUL for 20% off. Use the promo code FOUL. Woo! Here we go. Our friend Tim Healey from Newsday joining us right now. First off, dude, did you make it? Are you in Milwaukee?
I made it. I landed in Milwaukee about 1 a.m. local last night, escaped Georgia before the storm. So far, so good logistically. We'll see what happens the next couple days.
I'm excited. I mean, we don't have to go through all of this, so we just get to watch another car wreck, which we've seen plenty of in the last few weeks. So I'll start here, and then these guys will chime in. If I gave you the commissioner's hat or the league decision hat, whatever, right? You get to do whatever you want on Saturday or Sunday. This past Saturday or Sunday said, hey, there's a threat. We don't know, but there's a threat. How would you have drawn this up to make it more friendly for everyone, the game, fans, and the players involved?
It's tough because Saturday and Sunday, Wednesday looked pretty much fine. So you figure you could play Tuesday for sure. You should be able to play Wednesday. Thursday, you don't know because that's when the storm's supposed to start to arrive. It got worse over the course of late Monday into Tuesday, and then all of a sudden Wednesday was shot and things like that. If anything, the league should have been more decisive earlier here, maybe preparing contingency plans such as a neutral site in, let's say, Texas this week. Hey, if this gets worse, let's go to Texas for a game or two on Thursday. I don't know logistically all of the issues that go into preparing that, how feasible that is on such short notice, but it would have been better than what they ended up with.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, this at the end of the day. That's
True.
that's all part of the baseball talk. I've been a part of that before. There was a hurricane that came. I was with the Yankees. We're supposed to play Tampa, and then they moved the game to New York, which created the thumbs down guy, which is kind of incredible to me. But, good things always come out of it. I don't know. I'm like on the fence. I'm a little worried about the Mets, dude. There's a couple games left. They've got Frankie Montas coming on the mound. They're facing a really good squad, and I've been a part of it. We made the comeback in I forget 18 or 19, whatever it was.
Yeah,
and
19.
we're half game out, and we had less than a month to go, and we just fizzled. Like, do you think they're going to fizzle here with these last 4 games?
I really don't think the Mets are going to fizzle. I think if we're trying to look on the bright side of the Atlanta mess, they got out of Atlanta, which I think can only help psychologically and also literally on the field, not having to face Chris Sale, not having to face Max Fried. And then this weekend, yes, the Braves are good, and the Braves wiped the floor with the Mets in the first series of the season. That's a very different Mets team. The Brewers this weekend are not really playing for anything. They're just playing to not get hurt, really, ahead of their wild card series beginning Tuesday. So the Mets have a big, big opening here. They currently hold on the tiebreaker the second wild card spot. So can the Mets fall out of it? Yeah, sure, that's possible. But they are very much in a position of power going into their weekend series with the Brewers. I like their chances. I really do.
Tim, I know we're talking about this and that and everything else, but let me ask you this question. Why couldn't MLB have moved this? I know it comes down to money, and I saw Snickers quotes, and neither team wanted to move it. But in special circumstances, you can pick up a team and say, listen, you're going to have to go play in Texas, guys. We're sorry. Because this is the worst-case scenario, right?
Yep.
Let's say 3 teams are tied after this weekend, right? Braves, Mets, Diamondbacks. So there's 3 teams that are sitting there. They don't know who they're playing. Plus, the 4th team, either the Brewers or the Padres, are sitting there going, man, we don't know who we're playing, right? So the Mets could go from Atlanta to Milwaukee, back to Atlanta to San Diego, possibly, right,
yes.
to play. Or the Mets could play in Milwaukee and just go to Atlanta, back to Milwaukee, and play them again. So there's it's crazy that there was not a better thought out. And I know I think the Thursday game was already a makeup game from earlier in the year, but there had to have been a better solution. Fly to Texas, MLB. I know they're going to have to eat the money. There won't be fans, and Braves won't get their gate. Fly down there and get these games going, because also it's going to wreck their pitching for whoever does get in. If the Braves and Mets have to play these 3 games at the end where they're going to be, playing them like playoff games, then you got to play 19 or 18 innings, 2 9-inning games, and then to get in. And let's say the first game, whoever wins, you got to play that second game, and one team has to win or the other one. And then, by the way, you don't get an off day and you pick it up and go. I mean, this is a disaster. I'm sorry. There had to have been a forethought or anything. Like they did it. They did this for the Cubs when Zambrano did the no-hitter, remember? Against Houston. They moved the game to Milwaukee. I know. But, I mean, there's got to have been somewhere where they could have moved these games to just get them in and gate aside.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I agree with a lot of the points you just made. And ultimately, MLB could have forced the team's hands. The Braves didn't want to give up their gate. Okay, fine. I get why the Braves would feel that way. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes MLB just needs to say, too bad. There are more important things. We need to figure this out. Let's go to Texas. Let's go to Houston. Let's go to wherever, But you also mentioned that the game today, Thursday, was a makeup from April, and that is where the original screw-up was. That game got rained out, and they scheduled it for this week, and the teams had a 2-game series, Tuesday, Wednesday. They had mutual off days Monday before the series, and Thursday on the back half of the series. What they should have done was put it Monday. That would give them every chance to play 3 games this week, just in case. Say you schedule it for Monday and Monday ends up rainy, and oh well, you have the rest of the week to figure it out. They didn't. They put it on Thursday. A hurricane comes, and now that everybody's screwed pretty much. So a lot went wrong here starting in April.
Okay, so then the next question is, once they saw this was coming, okay, I get it, right? That, the hurricane changed and the forecast changed. Listen, I live in Florida. We deal with hurricanes all the time. Yeah. Why couldn't they play a doubleheader on Tuesday? Well, that was a clear day. They knew Thursday was good. By Monday, they knew Thursday was washed. Okay, they knew at least Thursday was washed. Why couldn't they have at least played a doubleheader? So then you only maybe have to make up one game. You couldn't have done that?
By Monday, did they know Thursday was totally washed?
Dude, I'm in Orlando.
Yes.
Scott and I are in Orlando. Trust me,
Yes.
I know hurricane
know better
paths.
than
You
me.
can see it. Yeah,
Wait,
by
also,
Monday they knew.
Bring me in for a sec. I just want to add to this before you answer too. There has to be a percentage tolerance of this could be a problem. Let's be safer than more sorry.
Yeah,
so that's where I'm like, all right, now we're playing 2 games on Monday. You couldn't figure one out with 48 hours to spare. Yes, we knew what was going on. And even if they were like, oh, there's a 20% chance that this isn't a big deal. Okay, sorry. So you played a doubleheader Tuesday. I think it just comes down to money. They didn't want to have to. You were going to lose money if you played 2 games Tuesday.
Okay,
That's it. That's the answer, period, in my mind. What do you think?
I think that's a big piece of it because the Braves were pushing strongly against moving up the game times in any way, largely because of money. But also on Monday, if MLB came to the teams and said, actually, you're playing twice literally tomorrow, then, can you take your Wednesday starting pitcher and say, just kidding, you're actually getting moved up a day? That's something that teams really don't do a lot of these days. And the Mets especially, ultra careful all season, extra days of rest, the whole thing. That's something that I think they would have been a little uncomfortable doing, to be honest.
Okay, so let's push this forward.
I mean, it's just amazing to me that, we always say they're proactive or reactive instead of proactive, but the Mets wouldn't have pitching. The Braves wouldn't have pitching either. I mean, it's part of it. You just figure it out. I don't know. I don't know.
Ken Rosenthal said on Fair Territory right before us, hey, if you don't like it, play better. You wouldn't have had to deal with this.
Oh, gosh.
Yes and no. Yes and no. For me, I get part of that, right? Because, if the Mets were 3 games up in a wild card, then it would have actually been even more awkward, Tim, because they might have had to play the games to decide if the Braves get in or the Diamondbacks. Meanwhile, the Mets don't give a crap. So how do you tell one team? That still could happen, right?
That could still happen. Absolutely. There's a scenario where the Mets clinch a playoff spot this weekend in Milwaukee and then still have to go to Atlanta for 1 or 2 games on Monday because it matters to the Braves and Diamondbacks. And in which case the Mets are playing, all their backups, not throwing anybody who's going to be important on Tuesday. There are a lot of scenarios that can still play out, and most of them are awkward.
Yeah, very much so. Let me ask you about this. There's some big time scenarios. It's kind of a debacle, but this is what I love about baseball, the craziness that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a player in particular, Lindor. Excuse me. Yeah. How's he feeling? It looked like he was ready to rock a little bit. Is he's back to where he needs to be, or at least, good enough to start getting some reps here soon?
Yeah, I think good enough is the key phrase there because nobody really expects Francisco Lindor to be fully himself, fully healthy for however much longer the Mets season lasts. He was in the lineup to play Wednesday. They were never going to play Wednesday. So I don't know how much that means really. But a small side benefit of this mess is he does get 2 more days off, Wednesday off, Thursday off. And I expect to see him in there Friday against the Brewers. So the Mets, incredibly, in their week plus without Lindor, their best player, they've played great. Their shortstop, Luis Angel Acuna, has been somehow spectacular after not being very good in AAA. So they haven't really felt Lindor's absence on the field that much. They've been fortunate in the short term, but naturally they want to get it back.
Let me ask you this. Does this help the Mets pitching at all by giving some of these guys extra days? I mean, they haven't announced who's pitching the whole weekend, have they? Because on MLB they haven't announced it yet. So do we have any idea what the order is going to be?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, 5 games in 4 days doesn't help the pitching, but there are some benefits in that. Sean Manaea was supposed to pitch today. He'll pitch tomorrow instead, in all likelihood, because that would allow him to come back ASAP in the wild card round. After that, they could go any number of ways. They would need somebody to start the second game on Monday, or that would be Severino. There's still a lot of ways they can go, but it does help reset the bullpen because most of their top guys will be going into the weekend with really 4 days off. Edwin Diaz got 10 outs total on Saturday and Sunday. So that's asking a lot of a guy, and you got to figure, totally fresh going into the Brewers series. So from a rest perspective, sure, it helps, but it's going to come back around because it's crunch time and they have to get all these games in.
Okay, that's what I meant. I meant as some of their starters, they can give them extra days, but this would push Manaea into the second wild card game now instead of potentially the first. And is there concern about Severino though too, because he hasn't been great his last few starts? So this extra rest helping him. Quintana hasn't pitched in a while, right? I mean, it's just backing guys up. So that's what I meant by will this help them in the long run?
Yeah, it could. It definitely could, because this time of year, you really are not afforded these extra days of rest like the Mets will be getting. Severino, say he pitches Monday, that's an extra day of rest because he pitched Tuesday. It'll be his 6th day. Jose Quintana, I don't know when he's going to pitch again, but he hasn't pitched in a while already. He's going to be on, 8 or 9 days, I think, by the time he gets back on the mound. And he's in the middle of a 22 2/3 scoreless inning streak, which is wild, and part of the reason the Mets are in this position to begin with, holding one of the playoff spots. So, yeah, the extra rest for the starters should help as far as the rest of the regular season goes. Absolutely.
If anyone watching or listening to this right now is confused,
everybody's confused.
Just read Tim's articles, okay? Sometimes you need to slow things down. I do, okay? I read kind of slow sometimes. So read those in Newsday, okay? And follow Tim at Tim B. Healey. Healey is Healey. Good catch up, man. Glad you made it safely over to Milwaukee. They have a retractable roof, so you will see 3 games, barring, I don't know, the power turning off or something. So enjoy that, man.
I absolutely will. Thank you guys very much. Looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Agreed. I love watching a good mess. Thanks, Tim.
Yes.
All right. For our FT fam, we have, of course, a Brave show. It's called Hammer Territory. It's great. We saw the crossover episode that they did after Game 1, which ended up being the only game this week between the Mets and the Braves. So if you want more, go check that out. And on the Mets side, we've got Mets Up. Brand new. About a month into their voyage under the FT network. Of course, they've been around for a minute. So make sure you check those 2 out wherever you get your pods as well. And we'll swing right back to go over quite a bit of drama surrounding the Padres and the Dodgers. We've got that Ohtani 50-50 home run ball, the Ohtani game yesterday, and a little shade at the Angels from Ohtani. What's up? Just quick shout out to the YouTube fam. By the way, we didn't get hit, but it's windy out there. It's not the best of conditions.
It's going to get worse though.
Down here
around 4 o'clock. It's supposed to.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Worse.
For how long? We're back, dude.
Are we back?
We're back.
Okay. Well, let's talk Ohtani. Scott's out. Scott.
No, I'm not out.
Whew, you're out. Big on. Beat it, Scott, at the showers.
Are you kidding me? I came up with this tweet last night. I was so excited about it. I'm like,
What
did they
tweet?
just say what I thought they said? All right, so you want to do better than box scores? We'll go over Dodgers, Padres, and the Ohtani stuff. Let's. Two clutch hits for Ohtani. I mean, one-man machine in the offense at times helps them pick up a huge win of the year, because now they're very much in a good position to finish up the division here.
Pretty
It's
much over now.
just about
they win
done.
one more game, it's over.
Yeah, and they don't have to win tonight's game. They could lose tonight's game and then just win
Any
a
game against Colorado.
Yeah, just one, right?
Yeah, just one.
Yeah, just one. So they're in a good spot. But let me start here. So, Toddfather, I'm watching the game in the later stages yesterday. It's when Ohtani had his go-ahead knock that ended up being the difference for the Dodgers. And on the broadcast, it's Joe Davis and Jess Mendoza doing an awesome job. Loved hearing them. And I flip back and forth, but I happen to be on the Dodgers for that moment. They basically told a story about how Ohtani struggled early in the season with runners in scoring position. That's true, because there was a lot of pressure on him with the Angels to deliver every time he was in those spots because they were precious. Right? This was generally a bad team that he was a part of in the past. So he found himself trying too hard with runners in scoring position earlier this season because he was trained to think it was their only shot due to his time with the Angels. We just were listening to the broadcast. We played the clip on FT Twitter. Our FT Twitter's lit. Shout out to Michael. And it got a very viral response. Just something basic that was pointed out in the broadcast. I don't know if it was from an article, from Ohtani himself, from a hitting coach. It's definitely shade, though, and it's not lying. I mean, the Angels have sucked for the past decade. So your thoughts on that? Do you feel like there's a different approach when you're on a crappy team versus playing with Mookie, Freddie, et cetera? I know Trout was on the Angels, but he's been hurt the last few years.
Yeah, it's tough because you think about this and, I don't think necessarily he wanted to throw shade or was trying to, but I think he definitely did a little bit for sure. Basically saying that the team wasn't good. Let's just put that out there. That's definitely what came off. There's always pressure when you got runners in scoring position. And I think AJ can attest to that. How many opportunities do you get that during a game? Sometimes you don't get any. And when you do, you want to put your best foot forward, of course. And when you're on a losing team, it's not going to be that many at all. So when you do, usually it's with 2 outs. And usually, you don't come up. Baseball is a failing sport when it comes to that stuff. Running in scoring position, it's hard to do. And guys who do it well are the guys that are going to play for a long time. I think that's the best stat as a hitter, in my opinion. And people talk about average. People talk about on-base percentage, which is a good one, and all these other different stats. But I think, how clutch are you? Do you have that clutch gene? And we talked about this, is there a clutch gene or not? We're not going to get into that. But do you have that when the clutch comes around? Are you stepping up? Are you putting up or shut up? And I think, was it an excuse? Maybe it came off as a little bit of an excuse why he didn't score any, or maybe that's the way he felt. But if you're a professional, there's always going to be pressure on you when you have runners in scoring position.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think he meant it as shade, but it sure came across as shade. It was like,
Yeah.
basically, we sucked and I had to do everything. Is basically what he was saying. And he felt like every time he came to a run scoring position, he had to get a hit. Now, is he wrong? Probably not. But now he's got Mookie and Freddie and Will Smith and Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez and the whole crew of Dodgers behind him. So it's a little bit of a different feeling. And like Todd said, when you're on a bad team, you feel like, man, I want to be the guy to turn this around. When it doesn't usually work like that because you need a whole team effort to turn things around. So did he mean it to throw shade? No. But did he? Yes. Do I like it? You ain't an Angel anymore. You ain't going to be an Angel anymore. You're a Dodger now. Guess who doesn't like each other? The Dodgers and the Angels. So throw all the shade you want, Shohei. You showed them. Here you are going to the playoffs for the first time. So you can do whatever and say whatever you want.
They said more emotions from him than they've ever seen, ever. People that have been following him. That's Japanese media. Of course, some of the Dodgers media that's been following him this year. They said what they saw from him last night with those 2 knocks that put them ahead both times was the most they've seen. I agree. Sometimes, you know how they do this? They have their thing with the side, whatever you call it. You know what I'm talking about? When they get to first,
when they get
big knock and all that, the little side thing. Sometimes Ohtani does it like, yeah, I'm supposed to do this, you know. And with this time, he was like borderline twerking.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. He hasn't played games like this before. Think about it.
I mean, bat flip, yelling.
They're not in it at the end. Forget not making the playoffs.
They were done. Their seasons were done in April.
Yeah.
Every time.
This is crazy.
This is different for him.
This is like your boy Jordan, Toddfather, Michael Jordan, who's your favorite basketball. Well, you love Jordan overall in basketball, and I'm the same way. I'm the Jordan over LeBron debate, easy. So imagine if Jordan didn't play in the playoffs at all for 7 years, and then suddenly the most competitive dude, maybe of all time, suddenly gets to play in the playoffs. He'd be freaking out.
Let me ask you this, and this might be a whole different thing, but do you see he bats? He's leadoff right now, right? Do you think that's going to go on? Can you see them not in the first at bat, but can you see like yesterday, first and second, 2 outs? Can you see them walking them to get the Mookie bats?
No. There's too many holes there. Listen, he's having a great year, but there's too many. Yeah. There's a lot of holes there. Depending on the matchup. Now, if it's a bad matchup, yes.
Oh man, I don't know.
I can't. In the playoffs,
he's a stud.
So. He is a stud. He's great. He's having a great year, but
yeah,
I don't see that happening. What was the stat I saw? And I want this to be known to everybody. Shohei Ohtani is having the 11th best season of Barry Bonds' career.
That's a controversial. That's a hot take, though.
No,
guys.
Well, like I said,
that's a hot take.
I know what Scott's going to say. Oh, he did steroids. I don't give a flying bleep, bleep, blop, bleep, blop what he took. He was so much better than everybody else or anybody else that's ever played as a hitter that it's not even close. Because you're like, man, this is the greatest year we've ever seen offensively. Okay.
Clean year.
Oh.
Okay. You want me to counter your take with a hotter take?
I mean, listen,
if Shohei Ohtani was on that good back in the day anabolic steroid stuff, he would have hit 80 homers this year. He would have been a homer every AB. He would have just had to skip pitching to him. 80 homers.
Wow.
He's already almost at 60.
To Barry Bonds.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I think Ohtani is better than Bonds.
Wow.
I do. I'm
crazy,
sorry.
Bro.
It's different.
You're crazy, bro.
I don't think I'm crazy.
Crazy person. Crazy person.
Todd,
crazy alert.
Todd, you got to pick
crazy
a friend
alert.
here. Someone's going to love you. Someone's going to hate you.
Crazy alert. I love Shohei's year, but it's like the numbers are the numbers.
But let's take.
You can't hypothetically.
But we know when Bonds was on the good. We do. You saw a change in head. There's court cases about it, right? Take the Bonds from the Pittsburgh Pirates days versus Shohei Ohtani now. Which one do you want?
Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Because I looked at it yesterday. Just because I knew this was going to come up, and it pissed me off because I knew you were going to be this.
I'm not.
So when he was at Pittsburgh, his first year with the Giants, 1993, was he on steroids?
I got to look at the number.
He had an OPS of 1.136. First year.
Mm-hmm.
That's higher than Shohei's. Okay? His last year in Pittsburgh, 1,080 OPS. 1995, 1,000 OPS. Now, 2001 is when it got crazy. 1,380. 1,380, 1,280, and 1,422. So,
all right, here we go. I got a question.
So there's at least 2 years up there, maybe 3, where you don't know what he was on, and he put him up.
Yeah, Barry Bonds, 1992.
Mm-hmm.
204 OPS plus.
Yep.
Ohtani is currently at 187. You're right. He's got.
Was he on the goody good then?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. Don't accuse people.
39 stolen bags.
We have no
versus
clue
56.
what he was on.
Okay.
127 walks, 69 punchies, just FYI, in 1992.
Understood. But I will take, I know this year's different, but I will take a healthy Shohei Ohtani, let's say in 2025, right? Or in the past, who pitches and puts up numbers that are pretty close to pre-Roy
He doesn't
Barry.
put those numbers up though when he pitches. So that's not
fair.
Let's be fair.
But still, not in the same stratosphere because he's going to pitch. Even if he gives me 100 innings like he's usually pitched in the past at that level as a 1 or a 2, come on.
Scott,
Stop.
who are you if Shohei doesn't pitch in both of their primes, who's your number one pick? Would it be Shohei or Barry Bonds to hit?
Any Barry Bonds or
in their
Barry
prime,
Bonds?
In the best year Barry Bonds had, who you take?
It's not even close.
Who? Which one?
Barry.
Oh, well, there. You answered the question.
But good Barry. That's what I'm talking about.
I'll take 1992 Barry.
Over Shohei?
Yeah. His numbers are better.
I'll take 1992.
But Shohei's OPS and his OPS last year was actually higher than it is this year.
For Ohtani?
Yeah, for Ohtani.
Which plays to the point. Didn't he throw a few baseballs from the mound?
Well, I'm just saying.
Last year.
Again.
So 2023 Ohtani, world's better than 1992.
1,027 is Ohtani's OPS. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years right now that I'm 9, 10. There's 10 years right now that Barry Bonds had that were better than Ohtani's year, if you go by OPS.
Well, let's bring this to our next guest. He's going to join us on the other side. We got a lot to get to with him, but I'm sure he'd have fun with this too. Jimmy, Jomboy, joining us on FT. Coming up. All right, FT fam, I wanted to do this real quick. In the last break, I'll do it here. We're not going to have time for this, but I want to do it. Jose Ramirez is 2 homers away now from 40-40. Will he get there? He only got a few games left.
You got 3 games left, right? Who do they play?
I don't know.
Who do they play?
Looking it up now.
Guardians play
We're
gonna get
Houston. They play Houston at home.
Houston's playing for nothing right now.
Blanco's pitching. Verlander. Verlander, Scotty's boys pitching 1 game.
Is he pitching in the playoffs?
Not right now. They said it on the air. Even Eduardo Perez.
He's not going to even be on the roster?
Eduardo Perez said no yesterday. When we had him on, he said no.
Wow.
Because he kind of mentioned it in passing when we brought up the Astros to him, but we kind of glossed over it a little bit, but he did say that.
Not even on the roster. Mm-hmm. That's pretty crazy. $45 million pitcher. Not on the roster.
Father Time gets everybody. Right?
Yeah, no, you're right. He wants to pitch till he's 50. I'm rooting hard for that, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get there. I mean, I think Kershaw's probably done too. He barely pitched this year. He's still making $20 million a year. So crazy. Can't beat Father Time. All right, so in a minute, we'll come back with Jimmy O'Brien, Jomboy. We'll get into some of the topics we were talking about. We'll definitely talk Yanks. We were saving Yanks for him too, and we'll get into his warehouse games that are running on Valley Sports. founder, leader of Jomboy Media, joining us right now. It's Jimmy O'Brien. You've known Toddfather for a minute. I don't think we've ever talked on a show, but been following you for a long time. Jimmy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Great to have you on. Obviously, we both got some fun content running on Valley Sports. We got your warehouse games. We'll get to that in a sec. I want to start with the debate that we were getting into right before this that just kind of happened. So would you like to pose the question here and see whose side he's on?
Jimmy, let me that's all I'm going to say. There's been a tweet going around on Insta and on X that says Shohei Ohtani's year that Scott is just glazing on is the 11th best year of Barry Bonds' career. And I said, listen, Barry Bonds is the best hitter I've ever seen. No one else is in the same solar system as him. And Scott's like, oh, I'll take Shohei over Barry on the goody good. I was like, all right, 1992 was Barry Bonds on the goody good, and he had an 1100 OPS. So you tell me, is Shohei Ohtani's year better than any year Barry Bonds ever had?
The stolen bases are a factor that didn't happen, I guess, with Barry. I'd be interested in protection that Barry Bonds had. I'd want to go back and look at that because
I protected him in 2004, and he had a 1400 OPS. So protection don't matter. Clearly, clearly protection is for sailors.
So 04 Bonds doesn't count. He had too much protection. Because going to the Dodgers sure has helped him out a ton, being with Freddie and Mookie and in that lineup.
He had a higher OPS last year on the Angels, just saying.
Right, so 2023, Jimmy, my point is, 2023, Shohei Ohtani versus 1992.
Bro.
Oh, froze for a second.
Yeah, it's not close. If Ohtani's pitching and hitting, I know this year he's not pitching, so it's a little bit different. But anyway, all right, let's get into your Yanks. You got us now, Jimmy?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, so state of the Yanks right now. What are you hitting on Talking Yanks lately? Do you guys feel good heading into the playoffs? I know we just got the bad news about Nestor Cortez going down, probably not going to be back this year, if anything, maybe for the ALCS. But are you feeling like this is the best shot at a World Series title for the team in a while?
Since 2019, that was the best shot they've had in a while. I mean, 2017 was a surprise. Todd came over. That trade was actually one of the best trades they've made with Todd, Canely, and Robertson. But that was kind of like, well, whatever happens, happens. Let's have fun. And then all of a sudden, it was like, well, we got a chance here. 2019 was the best squad in this, Judge era they've entered with. This one's a little tricky because they have the talent. They have the high-end pitching. They have the top of the lineup is great. The bottom of the lineup can be feast or famine, but the biggest concern is they're just not really good at like the baseball between the skills, like just running, good defense, situational stuff is man, when they get sloppy, they get so sloppy, and it's pretty like it makes you a little forlorn. So we're coming off 2 of those games. So right now, not great, but fandom, if they win today and win the division, then yeah, great shot. Also depends who they play because they can't beat lefties, and the Astros have a bunch of lefties. So there's like these like the lefties thing is a real deal. That it's like, well, okay, we got Kikuchi and Framber, we're done.
Well, you are hysterical because you're a monster Yankee fan, but I could hear in your voice and your tone, you're like, I don't know. Like you're kind of, you might be fed up, you're frustrated, but at the same time, they might win the division and blah, 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 and all else is good.
Might have the best record in the American League, but man.
Yeah, exactly. Because you've been down that road before, and I've been down there personally. I get it. The Astros have the Yankees number, and we all know that and understand that. What is... Like, think about this. I want to talk about Jason Dominguez a little bit here. Is he a guy that has to start right now? Is he the left fielder that has to go in for the playoffs, or what do you think there?
If you asked me 3 days ago, I would have said yes. I didn't know he struggles with fly balls in left field. That's a pretty huge thing to struggle with. There were some in Seattle. It was kind of twilight. The sun was there. Even Randy Rosarena was like shielding his eyes. So I'm like, there was a day game in Seattle. We don't got to worry about in the postseason. Yesterday, he just dropped an easy one in left field, and he looked lost. So now there's like 4 examples of him being a liability in the field. When you got Soto in right, who's a DH, and you got Judge in center, who's a right fielder. You can't have a liability in the left as well. So now that's the biggest conundrum is like, yes, his bat is starting to heat up from the left side. He can hit the ball really well. Verdugo's better defensively. So in my head right now, I feel like they're going to start Verdugo. They're going to pinch hit Dominguez in a big moment. And then Grisham goes out there for defense. But when you got a 3-person plan in left field, that's not good.
No, it's not good, and understandably. More on the Yankees here. I want to hear Nestor Cortez goes down here, which nobody had no clue about. I think, you saw him come out of the bullpen. I'm like, wow. All right, here we go. The guy, as much as he wanted to be a starter, this could be a huge bullpen piece as well. Clark Schmidt's going to have to step up. Stroman hasn't really done anything really. You think about, say they win the first series. Talk to me about the 5-man rotation they're going to use. What do you think it's going to be? And the second part is, how do you think this bullpen's going to pick up? Who's going to be the closer? Is it going to be bullpen by committee kind of deal?
The pitching is just losing innings is a daunting thing to happen before the postseason. Like Nestor was probably the 4, right? But that's a lot of innings. And now Clark's got to jump in, and no one's replacing Clark in the bullpen as a long man. Stroman stays the same, I'm guessing. So you just lose innings. It happened to us when they lost Herman in 2019 and Betances, and now they're lost Nestor and Cousins. And you're like, that's not the 1-2 out of the bullpen. It's not the 1-2 out of the rotation. So it's not devastating, but it can really gas other guys out if they have to lean on guys. If they go through a 5-game set in the divisional series, they're going to lean on a lot of these pitchers, and that could get daunting. But I think Clark will join the rotation, and then Poteet becomes a long guy out of the pen. As far as the bullpen, Weaver is my favorite player. I have a crush on him. Like, I'm a little boy, and he's my idol. He's the closer. He's been awesome. Canely and Cousins were the setup guys. Cousins might come back, and Cousins got righties. Canely gets lefties. You got Ian Hamilton. He'll be a fireman. He'll come out in big spots. And they're going to use Clay Holmes in spots. Clay Holmes had 12 blown saves. He was on his way to getting the record for most blown saves in a season, or he had 11. They moved him out of the closer role. Since then, he's blown 2 more saves in the 7th and 8th inning. He's 1 away from tying the record, and they still are using him in situations where you can't. And they're going to do that in the postseason, and I'm going to be on a live stream pulling my hair out and screaming.
All right, so actually that's a good transition to my next topic here, because obviously you're doing a ton of different things for a while now in new media, whatever you want to call it, right? So where do you think we are with the state of baseball media? I mean, I worked for the league for a long time. Now I'm doing this. I'm having the time of my life. Like, I know you've talked about this quite a bit publicly. So can you sum up where we think the sport is, specifically baseball? You can compare it to other sports if you'd like, and what you think the future is.
We're in the best spot baseball's been in a while. So if you go back to 2016, nothing existed outside of linear TV or MLB's social accounts. Nothing. If you tweeted out a GIF, they would delete your account. Pitching Ninja, that happened to him in 2016. And he was like, I'm just promoting the game. Like, what are we doing? And that was when they changed, and they said, okay, we won't be the Gestapo anymore. We're not going to shut everyone down that tries to spread our own game. But they didn't announce it publicly that you could do it. So my timing just happened to be perfect, because I was like, well, if they shut me down, whatever, I got nothing to lose. I started in 2017, but I just kept doing more and more and more, and it turned out they weren't really coming after people. And now we have so many baseball creators that are covering the game, doing, essay style videos like Jolly Olive, Foolish Baseball. You got fan accounts, you have highlight accounts, you guys, us, Hosmer and Moylan. There's just a ton of baseball coverage out there now that's not traditional, not sanctioned by the league. And that's a good thing, because you get different voices then and different styles, and you let creatives be creative. So I think we're in the best spot we've been. It's just a tough sport for like the youth or casual fans. It's not one game a week. It's hard to be a casual baseball fan when if you miss a week, you could miss all of a sudden this guy's not hot anymore and this guy's the hero and you're lost. It's like there's 6 games. If you go on vacation, a lot can change. So it's still just the nature of the sport. 162 games, 185 days or whatever, or 180 days, whatever it is. It's still tough to follow casually, in my opinion.
Do you think Major League Baseball is catching on though? Do you think that they have changed from the top down? Because it's still hard to run things through, however you run your Jomboy stuff, but like MLB still, I don't know if it's MLB, YouTube, whoever, they still put a stop to some things. It's not like you can just grab any clip off of MLB.com and run it. I mean, they'll still come at you and say, all right, take that down. Please take that down. Take that down. Like, do you think they'll ever catch up to like what the NBA does, what the NFL does, where they kind of let people run with it because they want the publicity of it being out there?
Yeah, it's all these rights deals and how they package them, and they oversold rights, and then it's a mess of that jargon and speak. But I wouldn't say it's the changes are happening top down. I think they're happening bottom up. I think they're hiring new, like, younger employees that are then like, hey, this would be a fun idea. And they run up to their boss, and their boss is and then stops it. And then they run it up again. And slowly we're like breaking through the ceilings to get to the top, who understand it. Yeah, I do think that they understand that they really understand that they were late to social media and YouTube. They had BAM, which is Baseball Advanced Media. And if you were a kid from 2010 to 2018, 2020, you couldn't find baseball highlights. Baseball highlights did not find you. You had to go find them. You go www.mlb.com, Derek Jeter. And that's how you could watch Derek Jeter highlights. You didn't open up Instagram and all of a sudden it was on your feed. And they know they botched that. They know they were late to YouTube and late to social media. What I think they're not understanding now is creators and the creator space. And all these other leagues are going to places like you guys, places like Jomboy Media, places like Barstool Sports, and spending their media budget, their marketing budget with creator-led media instead of spending on traditional linear commercials and ads. And I think Major League Baseball is still, they don't realize how behind they are on that. Because us, who we get like proposals, requests for proposals from other leagues, and the Major League Baseball, I think it would be like, they are in shock when they hear that. They're like, what?
Yeah, like what? They want to pay you to talk about the sport? Why don't they just pay us? Well, there can be other options. So.
Yeah, like we get other leagues that say, hey, can you make some videos and do for us what you do for baseball? And I'm like, yes. I wish baseball knew that.
Dude, touche.
Yeah, but they can't control you.
Right.
They can't control what your message is going to be or what you say. That's the problem.
You're independent. So unless
it's
they
true.
can check
but they have been nice to us. They haven't.
Yes.
They've never shut us down. They've never been like a giant thorn. Like we do have a relationship, and it's just really trying to blend and understand both sides of like where they're coming from, where we're coming from. So it's not been like, we haven't been butting heads. So like, I think they are going to end up in a good spot here.
Yeah. But that's why media in general, the reason why people get press passes and, players talk to media, the whole deal, it promotes the sport. If you just turn the lights off on all of that, watch how quickly people would not be in the loop on anything, right? If players didn't get asked any questions, if there were no shows, all of that, like that, this is the best free promotion of a sport that you could ever imagine. And you are spot on, by the way, from someone who used to work at the league. My main boss when I was at the network, who's not there for years now, but exactly what you said. You'd work with plenty of good people, great ideas, bring it to the top. And I'm talking to, a lawyer from the 90s. So it's just that is how that specific lane existed. We butted heads quite a bit, so I can say that, but you're spot on.
Not to knock lawyers, because lawyers who do lawyering is a good thing. Major League Baseball, you name a position, it feels like they're a lawyer. You're like, wait, you're VP of sales? Yeah, but I was a lawyer. It's like, wait, you're head of marketing? Yeah, but I was a lawyer. It's like, hey, let the lawyers do the lawyer stuff, because otherwise you're just gatekeeping everything by nature of what they're trained to do.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who went to law school. They did not teach them about content and baseball media there. They taught them how to litigate it, but not how to do it. So spot on. All right, so let's spin it forward here. So let's talk about warehouse games for a moment for our audience. Let us know what you're doing, where you're at with it, and I guess same thing, like how that came about and, you know, what you think the future of it is.
Yeah, we started playing blitzball, which is like it's a wiffle ball, but it's condensed. You can throw it faster, hit it farther. It's fun. I grew up taping wiffle balls to throw it faster, hit it farther, and we used to play in our alley in the Bronx. We got the boot from there. The maintenance man was like, "Please stop! I will lose my job if you get hurt back here." So then we had to go like around and play other places, which is where we ended up at Todd's place, playing him and Nicky Cass. Got Todd big swing and miss on my fork ball. It's okay. I watch it a lot. And then we were like, dragging the cameras and this whole production everywhere is a lot. Let's get a warehouse and turn that into our stadium. And after COVID, there was some available for like relatively a decent deal. And so we did that. And then once we had that in place, I just started dreaming of everything it could become and owning our own IP, building our own stuff. We have full control of everything. So we've built this world where we have these like 8 different franchises, all these different players. We turn, you know, your average sport and turn them into a backyard wiffle ball adjacent with like weird rules. We do like a version of cricket, a version of hockey, a version of handball, version of baseball. And Chris Rose does play-by-play. We fly in professional color commentators that are from hockey, cricket, baseball world. Peter Moylan does the baseball adjacent. We have Kelsey Wingert on sideline. So it's like the whole thing is it's a ridiculous creator league where you're not tuning in to see the best athletes. You're tuning in to see something that should never be taken seriously.
Okay. By the way, I someone that's worked with Chris Rose for like 20 plus years, man, his career, rocket ship, right? He went from battle bots to warehouse games, baby. I can't wait to text Rosie and be like, man, Rosie, you are really moving on up in the world.
It's because he had you on Best Damn back
That's
in
true,
the day.
Best Damn. Then we did playoffs together for years.
Yeah.
Look at him go. I mean, Rosie's hot now.
He's amazing. He's my favorite. I mean, he brings life to everything. We do these long days. We shoot 4 games a day. It's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Rose is screaming and laughing and making jokes all day in this dusty warehouse. He's incredible.
It was on the other day. I will say this. I was somewhere and it was on and I was like, what the heck is that? And it was like, you guys were playing like some fake cricket and there were these fat guys running around. And I'm like, this isn't cricket, but what exactly do you call it? And it was on silent. It was in like a restaurant. So I could only see.
It's on Bally Sports.
No, I know, but I obviously had no idea what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I could just see these fat guys with sticks running back and the guy would hit it. And I was like, this is kind of like cricket, but it's not cricket.
Yeah, it's a blend of baseball and cricket. We have professional cricket players come out, and each team gets a professional cricket player from the U.S.'s Major League Cricket to play with us. But it's funny because, you know, their skills don't translate perfectly. Everything is, you know, you're playing in there's walls everywhere, so it's a great equalizer. You know, Trevor Plouffe, big leaguer, 106 home runs to his name. He plays every year, but because he smashes one as hard as he can, it hits the ceiling, just come right down my lap. He's out.
Hey, rules are rules, baby. Got to find a way to do that. My question to you is is it World Series or bust for Aaron Boone, man? Because a lot of people have been talking about him. I feel like this is a big one for him. I think they got to win the World Series. This is a big opportunity for their manager.
I think it's Michael Kay recently said on his show that if they lose early, you know, lose in the ALDS, get swept in the CS like they did in 2021, embarrassingly again, then I think just for the sake of setting standards and changing it, I love Booney. He's a great guy. Comes on the show every week with us. It's fun. But yeah, World Series or bust. I think if they make a deep, long run, they'll pick up his option and say, we like what we're doing here. Cause they don't want him. They don't like making changes that much anymore. But the problems that seem to be arising are way deeper than the major league level. It's like, I think it's across baseball too. Is so many kids come up from the minors and aren't taught the game between the skills. And, you know, you had minor league players say that a couple years ago. Like, we just do hit it hard, throw it hard competitions, and situational stuff is gone.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
They also play everyone out of position. For 3 years, the Yankees haven't had someone playing a proper position.
What is it? Wait, hold up. Judge is a right fielder. naturally. Dominguez is a center fielder naturally. They have Judge
Soto's
in
a
center
DH.
instead of right, and Soto's a left fielder, and he's playing right. So they're all three out of position.
Jazz Chisholm is a second baseman.
But Glaber won't play third. Remember, he's a second baseman too.
Yeah,
Don't
he's the
forget.
worst second baseman in the league, but he's there. He's hitting the hell out of the ball. That's great. Statistically at second, not there. So yeah, they got some issues there. Now Jazz is very athletic. He's been playing great at third, but if you look at their roster, when you look at Birdie, Oswaldo, like all the pieces they have, there's just like probably three better different defensive linemen you can come up with.
Okay, fair enough. All right, did you see what Ollie Marmol said when he got ejected last time? Did you see his comments?
I read them. We were trying to find if he said them out loud, but I don't think it was on recorded that he was going to start arguing in Spanish. So I couldn't read his lips.
So do you have a translator ready?
Yes, I have two. I have two. I have Joe's McFly and Lou Dapp. They're part of Del Caribe in the warehouse games, and Joe's does a ton of stuff with us. What I do, I've been doing this for a while. I send them slow-mo of the lips of the Spanish players, and then I send them a voice recording and say, it's like this. Blah, 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 and then they say the words. We've done it a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, that's when
good
you
stuff.
know you're global. You're global.
Yes, that's great.
That's good business right there.
Yes, I love it. And by the way, Mike Schilt, every time I see Mike Schilt, because the one you did where you broke down his ejection in New York, where he's like, I don't even want to argue, but I have to get thrown out. I'm like, Mike, that was great. And he's like,
with Manny, protecting Manny?
Yeah,
that's
and he's
fun.
like, that damn John Boy, next time I got to argue like this because I don't want anyone to read my lips.
Yeah, it's like football now. You got to put
the
something
Dan
in front.
Campbell commercial where he holds the playbook over his mouth, and he's like, when they're trying to order, he's like,
oh, yeah.
No, they'll hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, dude, awesome having you on. Appreciate the time. Keep doing your thing. And obviously for our fans watching on Valley Sports TV, you can catch warehouse games as well all over. They air it a ton. So, Jimmy, thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. All right, FT fam. We will be right back. We can do this live because some people have heard the recording of this, but what's the line you do at the beginning for Mint Mobile? You say something along the lines of
$15.
Hey, I love a great deal. This is what he says, Todd. I love a great deal, but I'm not going to run sprints in the outfields.
That is what I say.
You know what I'm talking about?
Isn't that mine? I'm not going to run sprints in the outfield for eyewash because it's not worth it. Or
Right. It's got to be worth it. So anyway, no hoops, no BS. Mint Mobile. I want that $15 a month setup with the purchase of a 3-month plan. Like, what's your thing that's annoying that if someone asked you to do in baseball, it has to be, for a purpose, for a few bucks, whatever. If someone's just like, yo, start running sprints. Like, what was something that you did in baseball where you're like, yo, this has to have something to it for me to do it?
Like, I don't know. The first thing
Something in the weight room?
No, just running poles, like from foul pole to foul pole. I don't know. I would just You see the pitchers do that. A lot of college guys and pitchers doing that, get that lactic acid out of their body. I mean, I'm like, I'm good. Well, I mean, they're like, oh, come on, like whatever. It happened in the beginning of your career, and then it just kind of fizzled off. You get on the treadmill or do something else. But running poles was interesting.
Yeah, you do things your way. So if you'd like to take over your wireless bill and be more in control of it in terms of what the pricing looks like, especially, then hit up Mint Mobile. That's for you. To get started, go to mintmobile.com/territory, and there you will see all 3-month plans, $15 a month. That includes the unlimited plan. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone. Bring your phone number, all the existing contacts, that all can happen. And to get this new customer offer, hit up mintmobile.com/territory to cut your wireless bill to $15 a month. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on their first 3-month plan only. Slower speeds above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Hey, it's AJ's favorite newsletter. It's called the FT Leadoff Newsletter.
Read it every day.
He does.
Twice on Sundays.
That's right. Well, on Sundays, you're reading the one from Thursday, but there's a new one that comes out on Mondays.
Read it again for Monday, before Mondays come out.
Do you know we switched the schedule for it? So it used to be Mondays and Thursdays, but because it's playoff time, we're trying out 3 a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay? So scan the QR code. It's really, really expensive, so beware. It's free to get the FT Leadoff Newsletter.
It's as expensive as it is to subscribe on YouTube.
That's true. And
on
on
podcasts. Say subscribe to
podcasts.
this newsletter. But at some point, we're going to get you to once or twice a show to say, hey, let's subscribe on YouTube because it's also free.
That's right.
And there's like more people watching than have subscribed by like twice. So just hit the little button.
That's true. That's true. Oh, Toddfather. There's a game yesterday that had a little perfecto watch going on, but got broken up, and it ended up being a big part of the game. Not that it's a really meaningful game, but did you see the little bunt, how you doing, with Cleveland and Cincinnati?
I did, and I thought it was A-okay, man. 2-0 game in the 7th. A guy that's known to bunt a lot, a guy that's fast. Of course, the Guardians had a problem. What are they? Their 5th reliever too. I mean, it's a close game. Leading off the inning, first pitch, I thought it was a perfect opportunity to get on base. They end up scoring 2 runs too. I think they lost 5-2. It was, Friedel. That's what he does, man. Get that bunt down. Perfect job by him. Good execution. And people who are mad at this, I don't know what else to tell you. This is just baseball 101. Now, if it's 5-6-0, okay, then I might have a little problem with it. But if you're in Grand Slam range or less, there's a nice opportunity to get on base to get your, team started up and get a knock. I don't see anything wrong with this whatsoever.
Well, the Cleveland Guardians Twitter account saw some problems.
Okay,
with
so
it.
my question is, the unwritten rules forever, and again, they're unwritten, was after the 6th, then the bunting was off.
Okay.
Now, remember Ben Davis bunted against Schilling in the 8th inning in 2001, and people still want to murder him for that. Whatever. This is a 2-0 game, same situation. So can we all forgive Ben Davis now because Todd said it was okay?
I always forgave him. I didn't agree with him.
But my thing is it wasn't even a real perfect game because the perfect game has to be the same pitcher through 27
combines
outs.
whatever.
Combines to me as someone that's been through 2 perfect games in person, combines don't count. But it's just my opinion.
They're not in the same weight class.
No,
I agree.
they're not. So if it was, Tanner Bybee or someone like that, Lively or whoever for the Guardians, and they were in the 7th, I'd have probably more of a problem with it. But this was like, they ended up tying the game. Ramirez hit the go-ahead home run where he does the Donkey Kong thing, which is awesome. But I don't think this was a big deal. But I do love that they wrote, one of my best friends is from Kentucky, so when it wrote the Kentucky Red strike again or whatever they put on Twitter, I thought that was awesome.
It's all in good, clean fun.
Yes.
I think it's fair to put it that way.
I agree.
Did you guys ever have that pop up in your career?
What's that?
Something unwritten rule-ish like this?
Yeah, guys would get hit.
When
someone
guys
did
got
this
hit.
back 25 years ago, you're getting one. You're drilled. You're going to get hit.
And the rule was 6th inning?
It was the 6th inning. After the 6th. So once you hit the 7th inning, you had to get a clean hit.
Okay.
That was at least the way, it's changed.
Even if it was like 1 or 2-0 or no? Didn't
matter. It was always, once you hit the 7th, it was off. Game, the bunting and all that stuff was off. You played it straight up, tried to get a hit. But listen, I'm not saying those were right. It was just the way it was. And if you did it, you'd get drilled. The people would get pissed and want to hit you.
And now no one cares.
And now nobody cares except for apparently the Guardians Twitter page.
Yeah. And we're looking for good creativity there at the end of the year. So everyone's trying to keep up with the White Sox Twitter page.
Well, since the White Sox have won 2 in a row now, their Twitter page has gone back to normal.
Really?
Yeah.
No. But whatever depressed mode they were in for those few days, that was just beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. All right. We'll step aside because I want to make sure that we have a lot of time to hit. That's what he said coming up next. We have a lot of comments to get to. Carlos Correa kind of called out some dudes. We had Julio Rodriguez and Hector Neris kind of reuniting and becoming friends again. Also, Wilson Contreras and Jonathan India calling out their respective front offices for a lack of productivity. Toddfather, by the way, might as well tell the people. You got a little playoff action coming up. Obviously, we talk about AJ's got the NLDS, whatever series that ends up being after the wild card round. But you doing a little ESPN wild card action?
Yeah, it looks like I'll be broadcasting on ESPN with Michael Kay and Tim Kirchin. We're doing the Houston series. So whoever they end up playing, I'll be over there, man. Pretty excited. So 3-gamer. Did it last year on the radio. Now I'm doing broadcast. So moving up in the world, man. Watch out. No, I'm just kidding.
There you
It's going to be fun.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats, dude. That's awesome. All right, so have you been trying to size up who the other team is going to be?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who's losing here? 3-0. It looks like Detroit's down 3-0. Kansas City's tied 4-4. So it's Minnesota's licking their chops right now. Let's go. They want them both to lose. So we'll see what happens.
So Houston is the 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play the 6 seed. Mm-hmm. So they're going to play the worst wild card team. Mm-hmm. So as of right now, the most likely is Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it could end up being KC.
Minnesota, Kansas City, or Detroit.
Yeah, if Minnesota sneaks back. I mean, I don't see it, but okay. So yeah, you've got 3. He's got 3. The 3 Midwest teams.
Yes.
Yeah, you're getting one of those 3.
You're getting an AL Central team.
So you're either getting Kansas City barbecue. You're getting whatever you get.
No,
in Detroit.
but it's only in Houston because they don't travel.
Oh, right. So you're going to Houston. Everything's booked. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
You don't go to the other side. You just see who they play. But that's cool. Love that. Your favorite city, probably. Your favorite ball club.
Funny. Good one.
Hey, Jomboy brought it up when we talked to him. He said that 2017 Toddfather team.
Yeah.
That was
buddy.
That was a big year. So, all right. Well, good luck. Have fun with that, dude. Obviously, and we got you back on tomorrow, so we'll chat. It's a big guest tomorrow too.
Buddy.
So, all right, we're coming right back. We're gonna do a little. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. All right, so there's a lot here with the Twins. Some of it's fun, but I did want to throw this in there. We didn't really touch on the Twins too much. They did win on Rocco Baldelli's birthday, big dub. Correa's been really good at the plate since he's been back, but a couple days ago, he was asked if he was feeling a sense of urgency, and he was like, some guys, yeah, some of us hit extra today and tried to figure something out. We didn't get the win, but we've got to do more of that and eventually find something right away so we can go out there and put up more runs. And he was asked to give the media more context on the some guys thing, and he said, we're all trying our best. Everybody wants to be in the playoffs. And later said, some guys take frustration as poison. Some guys take it as fuel. The guys who take it as fuel are ones that always come out on top and have a beautiful career and stay in the game for a long time. We have a lot of young guys and a lot of people to try to help them. But at the end of the day, everybody has to figure it out on their own. Rocco Baldelli was asked about his comments the next day. He said, I don't think Carlos is off base in any way. Anything to this?
You got to win the games.
But do you think that he's lightly calling out some teammates that he thinks are falling apart down the stretch?
Yeah, he is.
I mean, nobody's hitting on that team besides Matt Wallner, who's now done. He just hit the shelf.
Yeah, but if Carlos is swinging the bat good, if he wasn't, do you think he'd make these comments?
No, you do it when you're playing well.
Exactly. I love Carlos Correa. He's been a great leader for the Twins, but I don't know.
Not much to it.
Listen, he's trying to get him going with 4 games left to go in the season.
It's whatever. So
they all know they got 4 games left. You got to win them all to get into the postseason.
But to me, he's like, I'm hitting early. I'm doing this and that. Like, to me, is it a little bit of a work ethic call out where he's like, some guys are struggling and should be doing something else.
Guys all do things differently.
Sure.
I'm sure Todd probably hit more than I did. I didn't hit a whole lot. Right? I mean, but every guy did. I mean, there was guys that played. Nick Markakis never hit on the field all year.
Yeah.
Was I going to call him out? Because I never saw what he did in the cage. I didn't even know if he went to the cage before game. But I tell you this, when it was 7:05, that son of a bitch stepped in the batter's box. I wanted him in there.
Pretty damn good
because
player.
I knew he was going to give me a great at bat.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's hard to question sometimes people's work ethic because you just, unless you're watching them 24 hours a day, it's hard for someone that's not in the room to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's not the right time. I got to be honest with you. With 4 games left, say they don't get in, it kind of leaves a sour taste for even next year. Like, this guy just called me out, and if you're the guy or guys in there, you know who you are. It's like, all of a sudden this guy's gonna, because he's playing good, he's gonna toot his horn and call us out. I don't know. I just think it's not the right play right now. I think maybe he could have went about it. Hey, we got a sense of urgency. We just got to keep working harder, get in the cages more, and do things. And he's definitely calling people out here. And I think it's bad taste and bad timing, if you want the truth.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I'm curious. If you're there, you're like, dude, not right now. We're all going through it already, and there's definitely blame being placed all over. But I mean, a lot of it has to go with the roster construction here, which we've gotten into quite a bit. All right, quick on a fun note. Louis Varland thrives in the bullpen. That's his spot. Okay, he's been much better there. His velo goes up, his stuff plays up. Like, it just seems to be him. And Byron Buxton said about the win yesterday that he was barking in the dugout, and that got everybody excited there. He right before he goes back out, because he did 2 1/3 scoreless, he gives everyone a bark, and it just gets you going. They were like, "Does he do that often?" He's like, "Oh yeah."
I like it.
Does any teammates do weird crap like
guys
that?
do crazy stuff all the time, man.
I like that.
It's part of it. It's one of the things that made baseball so fun. You want guys to do something stupid every once in a while, or something crazy, or something that's towards, just makes them be themselves. Like, cool. Breaks it up, too. You got a guy barking, guys have their handshakes, guys do this, guys do, like, great. Go do it. Go do it all, as far as I'm concerned.
That's awesome. There's a guy I played with that loved getting slapped in the face before he went out. And they're like, come on, hit me. And I like, every once in a while, I geared back and like gave him one. Yeah, it's about time. And I could have sworn that he felt that one a little bit more. So there was a couple crazies out there. I loved every second of it. So yeah. Let's go.
Can we get the name? Is this a public slapping? Do we know who this was?
Oh yeah, it was Matt. Yeah. It was Matt Latos. Matt Latos. I don't know why. It was he was a little kooky in the head, which was you need that in baseball, I guess.
Yeah, but some guys want the anger. Well, you fueled off the crowd on the road. You've talked about that a lot. Yeah. So Matt Latos wants a little smack on the face.
Hey, tomorrow, I want you to do me this. Tomorrow, Cam's on tomorrow, right? With Todd. Ask Cam about Matt Latos and let me know what he says.
Oh God Almighty! Here we go.
Ask him about that one.
You got something?
We played together in 2015. Matt Latos was on the Marlins, and he was like one of their big signings. They're like, "Oh, we're going to be so good." And Cam, I don't know. They were jawing at each other. I think he hit up Cam or something. It might have been his first start of the year.
I got it written down here.
And Cam got hit or something. And they were kind of jawing at each other. Next to back, Cam hit one off his ankle, broke his ankle. He was out for like months. And Cam was like, "Take that, dude! You should have been talking."
Whoa!
You never want anyone to get hurt. But
sure.
You got to ask Cam the story because I don't think I told it right, but it was something like that. Like Latos was jawing at him, and then he hit. It was like he called timeout or something. I don't know what it was, but the next pitch he hit one off his ankle, broke his ankle, and he missed like 3 months of the year. You got to ask Cam. Cam will remember. I promise.
That's good, though.
The whole dugout's like, dude, that's what you get for talking.
That's some crazy karma right there.
Oh,
yeah, usually it's then I hit a homer off him, right?
No.
This is different.
Oh, you took
him out again. Remember when Latos got charged when he was pitching like AAA and the whole dugout charged him? Remember? Do you remember
that was independent
ball?
That was in Jersey too. I think it was the Jackals. Oh my God.
Oh, the Jackals in Montclair.
That was incredible. What I got that sent to me, oh my God. I'm like, whoa, Bell. Yeah, he threw at him, man. Oh my God. Crazy.
Did they pummel him?
Yeah, they got beat up pretty good.
He did?
I thought he held his own, but then you didn't see him for a couple seconds. But He's a big boy, so you need 3 or 4 guys on him. Yes.
Yeah, you got to jump on him. All right, that's good. So, some news that just came in. Chris Sale is going to start whenever the Braves need him most. All the Braves beat writers on this. Here's Mark Bowman's tweet. When the Braves are facing elimination is when you will see Chris Sale, because he only gets 1 start left in the regular season. And this is basically playoff mode for the Braves. Fried is starting Friday because he's more of a creature of habit who doesn't like too many extra days of rest. Reynaldo Lopez is the wild card who could be used at any point between Saturday and Monday. Yeah, Reynaldo, was out and you were wondering if he was going to return at all. And then the news started getting better. And then yesterday I remember reading, he's like, I'm good. I'm back. I'm ready. Starter, reliever, whatever they want.
Crazy.
So,
absolutely crazy.
So now you wait until you're on the brink and then you're like, all right, Sale, let's go. Stand up. We need 7 from you.
AJ, you know him. He goes with the flow, bro. He just wants to win. And I think it's difficult for a pitcher. You see like Max, some pitchers are, I got to be every 5th day because I don't want to, get off my chain. And Chris Sale's such a team guy, bro. And, he's going to be well rested for sure. So that should help him.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Is this a health concern? Because they gave him a day off already because his velo was down, right? So I hope this isn't a health thing, but they need him. So, yes, I get Fried's more of a creature of habit, but they're also trying to maybe have to use him if they do in one of those doubleheader games.
Yes.
And or if they don't need to play those doubleheader games or need to win them, they still have him available for game 1. Because if he starts today or tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, he can't pitch till game 2 at least of the wild card.
So you're saying the longer they hold him off, the more you could put yourself in a bad position for the wild card. Like if he pitches Monday, obviously he's not pitching in the wild card game. If you pitched him earlier,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so he could pitch Tuesday, he could pitch game 1 if he pitched Friday.
Right. But if you're waiting for elimination, I mean, Friday's not going to be elimination.
Yeah, I know.
So if he pitches,
so that means he's not going to elimination for them wouldn't be till Saturday or Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, like let's say he pitches Sunday. The Mets have 2 good days and the Diamondbacks do, and Sunday's an elimination game for them. So then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he would be out for the wild card series either way, right?
Yeah,
because he'd be eligible for Friday.
So if you pitch Friday, it's game 2. Let me see. So if you pitch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, that's game 2
of the wild card.
Yes. Now, if he pitches Saturday, that's game 3. Pitches Sunday, he missed the wild card. Pitch Monday, he obviously missed the wild card.
Yep. Yeah, but Fried's going Friday, so now you push Sale to at least Saturday or Sunday. It's not a bad option to have Fried in there, but interesting little strategic play there.
Because Schwellenbach's pitching Sunday, so he's already going to miss the wild card.
Yes.
So you're going to lose Sale and Schwellenbach? I guess Reynaldo Lopez is coming back. It's your only saving grace. But
so this might be Fried, Reynaldo Lopez, Schwellenbach, Monday Sale. That's what they want. And those Monday games, if they're in it, count a ton because you're also not only trying to catch up to a team, but you're trying to take the season series against the Mets.
Yes.
So there's more meaning. That's why it was so cool here to see that series this week before Mother Nature came in and kicked it over. All right, let's go back to That's What He Said. Julio Rodriguez and Hector Neris had a thing last year on the field. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, Neris struck him out like
went nuts.
Yeah, went crazy.
He walked toward him.
Something happened. He definitely, I don't know, did something, said something.
Yep, all the above.
And then J-Rod homered off him yesterday, and they asked about the situation between the two because they used to be friends. Then it sounded like they wouldn't talk to each other ever again kind of thing. And he said, J-Rod said about Neris, quote, "Life is too short to be holding things on." Obviously, that's something that he understood that it was not correct to do, and we talked about it, and he apologized in person. And it's all good. We're grown men. Cool.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Good for both of them.
Ultimate revenge. He had a homer off him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. It was a missile, too.
All right, so let's get to two more quotes. All right, we'll start with Cincinnati. Jonathan India went strong because he's been with the Reds for a minute. He's always in trade rumors. He said he's kind of wiped that away. But the Reds haven't made the playoffs for a 4th consecutive year. AJ's waving hello, goodbye.
No, goodbye,
I
Jonathan India. They wanted to trade you last year. Now he made these comments. They're probably going to trade you. Todd, you know how it works in Cincinnati, man. Just keep your head down and keep grinding.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he loves the city. He's like the guy. He's
I know.
heart and soul of the
you
team.
say these things.
All right, so you want me to? I'll read the quotes here. He said, "We're tired of losing. It's the same thing every year here. We just float around 500 and try to make the push, but we just don't have enough. We need to make a move. I know what it is, but I just want to say it to the media." Or he said, "I don't know what it is. I just want to say it to the media." And they were like, "Is it spending more because you're a bottom 10 payroll in baseball?" And he's like, "Yeah, it could be. Yeah, there's a certain thing we need to go get." And he said, "It's got to be. Who knows if I'll be here next year? Who knows if Stevenson will be here? We're running out of time. We were the young core. Then we added Ellie and so many guys. They need to make moves. I want to win. Everyone wants to win. That's the bottom line. We know we can. There are certain things that I think should happen. A lot is going to change. I don't know what else is going to change, but I think a lot is going to change in this next year. We'll see what happens. A lot could happen. We shall see." Almost sounds cryptic, like there's something else going on there.
Well, they need a new manager. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
And then Todd Frazier for manager, maybe.
No.
And then, listen, basically what he's saying is we need to spend more money and get better players.
Mm-hmm.
Get some veteran guys in here, not him. Remember, they wanted to trade. They were talking about trading him last year. Let's not forget. So, I don't know. I mean, listen, I love that a player's got enough guts to say this, but it's going to change anything because Jonathan India said it? Probably not.
No.
Doesn't sound like he's had combos, though, because he's like, lots going to change.
Yeah, it's weird because, when you play the game, there's some guys on the squad who have just intel and just know, and they have like an inside guy who, they're like, "Oh man, you wait till you hear this." Like, people talk. I don't care what you say. There's the gift of gab, and there's people that can't hold secrets or keep themselves together. And maybe he's that guy where they, confide to, like, "Oh man, wait till I tell you about what they're doing here." It's all over. It happens all the time. And first, like AJ said, you need a manager. Freddie Benavidez been there for multiple 10, 15, 20 years. He's been there. I would love to see him be the manager. Guy's a solid dude. He was their bench coach this year. And I think India's just upset, man. Maybe it stems from, trying to trade him the one time, or, maybe it was something that happened in the clubhouse. He's still pissed off from a while ago, or it just happened now. He's saying what every Cincinnati Reds fan has been saying for years. And he's not wrong. Is this going to hurt him down the road? I think it definitely will. Because, brass doesn't like hearing that stuff. They don't like to be nitpicked, and they don't like to be talked about or misconstrued or said anything. But the more players talk, I think the better. It's just a matter of, dealing with the consequences. But I don't think he's wrong at all.
No, he's not. This happens at the end of seasons for teams that thought they'd do more, that are frustrated with how the roster was constructed. Cal Raleigh did this at the end of last year with Seattle. Mariners talked to him about it, and obviously he hasn't spoken as much, Seattle was disappointing last year. They've been disappointing again. The offseason was brutal for them, and then they're going to miss the playoffs by, a couple games. One more. Wilson Contreras is a case of, haha, I can say this because you signed me to a long deal, so I ain't going anywhere. Yeah. He said about the Cardinals, there's some areas that need to be addressed. I don't know if the front office is going to, but we didn't come together as an offense at all during the whole year. There's a lot of holes throughout the lineup as well, from 1 to 9. The only thing we can control is show up next year and keep working. But as an organization, I think the Cardinals are one of the biggest organizations in baseball. And if I was them, if I was the front office, I'd have to be hungry to own this division. We haven't owned this division for the last 2 years. And they were like, well, what areas need help? And he's like, that's a good question for the front office to answer. I'm not going to answer that question, but I think if you look at the numbers as an offense, you will notice what's possibly missing.
Okay.
I'd like to get Lance Lynn on here after reading these comments.
We will.
I'd like to get a lot of people on there. I'd like to get, first of all, there's areas they need to, how about you? Let's start with him. He ain't played a lot. He was a problem, they said, last year. Remember when he came over, he didn't know, he was calling the wrong stuff and all that. Now it ended up being debunked, but 1 through 9, well, he's hitting 1 through 9, so he's in there. Mason Wynn's having a nice year, right?
Mm-hmm. Contreras has been great for them when he's been on the field.
But he hasn't been on the field.
I get what you're saying.
And also he's been more of a DH than a catcher. They signed him to be a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is what areas need help? That's a good question for the front. Well, you're saying it. Answer the question.
Well, he said 1 through 9.
But he goes, what areas need help? that's a good question for the front office. I'm not going to answer.
Dude,
if you're going this far, you might as well go all the way in at this point.
You're going to go player by player?
Exactly, 100%.
But I'm saying he's basically calling out his teammates at this point, right?
But he said 1 through 9, so he's like, the offense sucks. To me, that's what I read. That's what he said. The reason we do this segment is, what are they really saying? To me, I think he said, our offense sucks. I can hit. No one else can.
Wow. Good for you. Mason Wynn's having a good year.
Yeah. There's a couple others.
There's a couple guys that are doing okay for him.
But he thinks
it just didn't work this year.
Yeah.
But also, this is another thing. It goes back to spending. Like Goldschmidt comes off the books, right? Arenado hasn't had a great year. Last 2 years have been okay for Arenado, not the old Nolan Arenado we're used to.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of their other guys haven't developed the way they thought.
Mm-hmm.
They traded Edman. They traded Carlson, guys they were counting on.
They thought Jordan Walker was going to be a star this year. Nope.
So it's just a bad year. But I don't know. He's there for 3 more years, right? He signed a 5-year deal. Mm-hmm. So he's got 3 more years there. Go out and win the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go out and win the MVP. Then you can talk.
I mean, if he doubled his game total here, that would have been a really standout year on offense.
I don't know. I just hate, Todd, tell me if I'm wrong. I just hate people that say things like this. Like, if you want to say, if he would have said this and led with, hey, man, I missed a lot of the year. That really hurt our team. I need to be better. But but I hate when dudes throw other guys on their team under the bus. Like, there's no need for it. Everyone knows.
I didn't hear the whole interview. We're taking the piece
just off this quote, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Coming from him, it just, I don't know. For a guy that hasn't been on the field a lot, that's a difficulty. That's difficult to swallow if I'm a player on that team.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we get the good stuff, the good therapy talk at the end of the year. Swinging right back to go over game picks. And later, we'll go over that Ohtani home run ball. It's for sale. You can get it. It's not that expensive. Did you have a nightmare about the White Sox? These guys cut it off. Did you have a nightmare that you guys lost to the White Sox? Because you didn't lose to the White Sox.
No, I swore we did. There's got to be a 1-run game in there that we pulled out at the end. Something, because I swore. I'm like, Stephen Vogt him and I were talking the other day, and he goes, we lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. We're the most up and down team, and we were telling. I'm like, I don't feel like we're as good as people think we are, and I think we're competitive. And he goes, I feel the same way. And we're talking. He goes, hey, we've lost this many games to the White Sox. I said, yeah, they beat us too. And then someone overheard that and said, Murph, we didn't lose to the White Sox. I'm like, yes, we did. They beat us once. But I forgot.
Their season's ending, and he basically said, I'm going to paraphrase, that there's a pretty big gap between the Brewers and the Cubs right now. Obviously, we can all see that in the standings. But why are you shaking your head and laughing about it?
Counts is beautiful, man. He's beautiful. Did you notice he used
right?
Yeah. Did you notice he used, I got it texted to me 30 times. He uses the word daunting. We've been using this word undaunted, and it was in an article on my wall for like 30 years about my dad's high school football in the 1930s. And I see this word, Ty Murphy rolls right, and then undaunted, reverses fields and completes this pass or something. And I've always wondered about it. So then when I looked it up, and then I brought it to the team mid-year, and we had shirts made undaunted, and they wear them and all that. But Counts used that, and it's like our logo, mantra for a lot of things here, and marketing's picked up on it. Anyways, and then Counts is doing the interview, and he tells us there's a big gap. He's talking to his owner because he wants them to get involved even more. And sure enough, he uses it's daunting. And it was a kind of a little dig, not a dig, but proving how funny he really is without people knowing it.
I love doing these. So let's go over locks. Your BetMGM locks from yesterday. Mine was voided. Yours was half voided, but the other part fell. And then Cam, San Diego did not make it happen for you.
By the way, the Texas Oakland game was 5-1 like the third inning, and I was like, "Oh, this is an easy hit," and then they didn't score again.
That was it. Yeah. Bummer. All right, so let's fast forward. Let's do it today. I see a lot of 4-digit lines on the board. It's been a nice year. Toddfather?
Been a very nice year for everybody.
It has. You're near 5K in winnings. Now, do you feel like you got too big for your britches on Friday with your massive 4-team parlay?
I was having fun with that one. So like we talked about, I'm like, listen, every blue moon, have fun. If you hit that, the numbers would be incredible. So again, when you're up big, you can dabble a little bit.
Yeah, you did a heat check, but I'm going to be your coach here, right? I'm in your corner. When you're in the boxing match, you're almost at the finish line. I'm like, I need you to focus. Do what you do best. Can you give me just a single gamer, like just a little money line, run line, a little over under? What do you got?
Yeah, I always ride the waves. That's just been the thing I do this year. First time I'm going against the squad, the Yankees here. I'm taking Corbin Burns. I know he's facing Garrett Cole. It's going to be a really good game, but I'm taking Corbin Burns money line plus 130, 300 to win 390. Yeah, until the Yankees win again, you got to keep rolling with it.
I agree. I was thinking about that game. I ended up going a different
Todd
route.
just went against the Yankees, man. He's going to get this when he goes to the stadium.
But then you should really know.
I get this.
Yeah, I agree.
Now when you just bet against the Yankees, you don't.
Dude, Corbin's found it again, and man, he's pitching for it all. And I think he's a big game guy. He's about to pitch in the playoffs. Like I mean, he's got better stuff right now than Cole. No, right now.
As long as Cole doesn't go like this.
All right, so that's plus 130. What do you got?
I got runs. I need runs scored today. I got San Diego and the Dodgers over 8.5. It's Musgrove versus Walker Buehler. They've both been giving up some runs. So that's over 8.5. And then Miami versus Minnesota over 8.5. That gets me to plus 265. And then I also have a soccer bet today, bonus bet. Yep, I'm taking Tottenham, home team. They're minus 650, so I'm gonna take them.
Minus 650?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You got it. You know you have to put $650 down to win $100.
Yeah, but that doesn't count on my money back.
No, I know that. I'm just saying in general.
To win a dollar.
Yes, you're going for your boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're playing Qarabag FK in the Europa League.
Can you at least give me like a goal line where it's like they win by 2 so I can get better odds or something, or no?
Yeah,
money line's tough for me.
I'm trying to find those. I don't
$650.
I don't know how to do that on the betting app, but I'm looking right now.
All right.
It's minus 650. Ty is plus 750. Qarabag FK is plus 1450 to win.
Whew. All right, so I'm looking at the goal line later on that. All right, for me, I'm just going nice and simple. Padres to beat the Dodgers in the rubber match of this one. There's a little less pressure on the Dodgers now, so I could see them scoring a lot, like AJ said. But I just think the pitching matchup favors San Diego, and I think San Diego still has the better bullpen than the Dodgers anyway. But I got Musgrove over Buehler. I mean, yeah. Buehler still hasn't found it this year, like you mentioned. And actually, some Padres fans were like, hey, AJ, Musgrove's been really good lately, aside from the San Francisco start. He gave up 6 and 4 1/3. But yes, the last 2 starts, one of them was against the White Sox. 6 shutout innings. You know, he's mostly been really good since August, right? Since he came back. Mostly been strong. So I just think he's in a much better spot than Buehler. So I'm just taking the starting pitcher here. Okay. Minus 105, it's basically an even game. And I got 105 to win a hundo. So BetMGM account holders, you can swing for the fences on a daily basis. You know about it if you're watching this show. You play as the batter, pick an area of the strike zone, see what happens. If you get a knock, then maybe you get yourself a little bonus bet action. Okay, it's free to play. And reward types include odds boost tokens and SGP boost tokens, among others. And all rewards expire in 24 hours. Also, if you're in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, BetMGM has this. You can only find it here. Philly Slingo. It is a crossover of slots and bingo. Really nice graphics. Whoever made that behind the scenes with the interface, that looks good. Okay, Philly fans. The goal is to get as many horizontal, vertical, or diagonal lines across the board as possible. Same way you do like bingo. But it's Slingo. And the more lines you fill, the bigger the reward.
Tottenham minus 2 goals is even money.
So that's what you want. I want Tottenham by 2.
To win by 1 goal is minus 250.
But to win by 2 goals.
Is even money, plus 100.
Got it. Hey, this one's for the busy lives when fall hits, right? Summer, you're chilling, you go out a lot, but now you're home, you're grinding at work, you got kids. Enter factor. The F on here is for factor. Factor. The F on here is for factor. But what do you get with factor?
Great meals, easy to cook. 2 minutes in the microwave.
Yep.
Just poke some holes in them. 2 minutes. The juices are really good if you like juices.
Yes.
They send you some juices. And listen, best part, Todd, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
They're ready in 2 minutes, and they're hot and ready.
I just got them. I got them yesterday, so I'm going to try one for lunch today. Let's check it out.
Okay, then we'll get the post-game report from you tomorrow. 35 different meals, more than 60 add-ons. Yes, have a hearty meal this afternoon, Toddfather. They're ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, no prepping, no cooking. Just pop it in the microwave, get it done, and some fancy options for you if you check it out. So go to factormeals.com/foul50 and use the code FOUL50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month. That's code FOUL50 at factormeals.com/foul50 while your subscription is active. So Ohtani's big 50-50 ball from the other day in Miami is going to be up for auction starting tomorrow, Friday. And I saw it somewhere when it happened. Someone was like, oh, it's probably worth a few $100,000. And I was talking to my dad about it. He's like, no way. He's like, that thing's worth a couple $1,000,000. So starting bid is $500K. There's a $4.5 million buy it now option, which then disappears if the bidding gets up to $3 million. So if you see the bidding getting hot, you can hit that buy it now option. If you're one of those billionaires out there that's like, I'll take the 4.5. But you can only do that up until it's $3 million. So I know this applies to a lot of people watching this. So I just wanted to let everyone know where we're at with the 50-50 ball. Okay.
Well, it's crazy. Go ahead, Todd.
I talked with Ken Golden today, who's part of the Golden Auctions or whatever, and he's thinking around 1.5 is like going to be the asking price around that range. So hopefully, they get what they want. I know didn't the Dodgers say 1.2 right off the bat, right after the game, or $1 million? I forget.
Did they?
I think they did. Somebody was telling me they offered him that, and he said no.
Well, good for him. He's going to get an extra $500K out of it potentially.
By the way, did you see there's a kid now, 18 years old, that said the guy ripped it out of his hand? He's suing him?
I did not.
There's a lawsuit.
That dude was pissed. He's suing him?
He's suing him. An 18-year-old kid and he said he had the ball in his left hand, and the guy put his hand between his legs and forcibly took the ball from him.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
they
guess they
have
have it on camera. I
they
don't know.
have camera footage, so he's probably
No,
that's
the
why
dude
he's
was-
selling fast.
Scotty, the dude was
Yeah.
filming. I saw the video. The kid's like, yeah, he was pissed. I was like, oh no, we didn't see the whole thing, but yeah.
Okay. If you have that video, send it to me. Maybe we can show it tomorrow on the show, which also will feature Nick Castellanos, and Kenny's back. All right, FT fam, we're here. 3 more minutes on YouTube for the bonus action. All right. You're a real one if you stay for these last few minutes. So just a couple quick injury bites here. Bo Bichette's getting surgery on a fractured finger. Just throwing that out there if it means anything to you. The injury that stands out the most by far, the headliner, which I thought didn't get enough attention yesterday. Grayson Rodriguez is shut down for the rest of the season with a lat strain. They were just like, it wasn't healing like we thought. Initially thought it was mild. It's not. And that's it. Our guy who appears on this show quite a bit. He was aiming to get back for this series. Clearly wasn't getting the progress he needed. That is a brutal loss for the Orioles. Look at their rotation now heading into the playoffs. It's Corbin Burns. It's Zach Eflin, who I think I like more than most. I've always been a big fan, especially the last few years and how he's changed himself on the mound a little bit. But then Dean Kramer, Albert Suarez. Is that winning you a World Series?
Corbin Burns better pitch really, really well.
Can he pitch every day?
He pitch every game. I don't know.
I mean, is that a World Series rotation?
No, it's not. Is it a World Series bullpen?
No.
Okay, well then they're not winning the World Series, but they
Okay.
probably will because Scott said they won't.
Yeah, don't put money on the Orioles, folks.
By the way, I know we're live, but Zach Neto just got hurt, which is like worst case scenario for the Angels because he hurt. He's holding his right shoulder as he comes off the field, and that's his throwing arm. That's not good.
No. That is not good. At end of the season here, you're just trying to get everybody healthy, especially if you're a bad team. These games really, really
especially
mean
when it's
nothing.
one of your best players.
Yeah, it means absolutely nothing. Okay, 2 more things to do here. Let's shout out Tiza, and then we'll finish with Oakland like I promised. All right, where's the pucks? Oh, they're right here. Here you go. Shout out to our partners, Tiza. Usually Toddfather's got one on the desk there. I might have stolen them all. Oh, there it is. I left you one. I'm so nice. Boom. Okay. TizaEnergy.com. Energy. There's a little chill action. We took our 2 favorite flavors. We're very anti-tobacco and nicotine here. So this is our partner for a long time. They are thriving as a company, by the way, which is really cool. No nicotine, no tobacco, energy, focus, oral stimulation, wintergreen, and tropical. They're the 2 flavors that we have. It's the first ever multi-pack. And you can get 20% off if you use the code FOUL over at TizaEnergy.com. So go check it out. And lastly, can we show the legend in Oakland who was putting the dirt together in the cups for fans in right field? That's so cool. I mean, people are going through it. There's some people at every ballpark or every fan base who like live and die off their teams. It is their social life. It is their home. So, there's a lot of crying going on. There's people that want to do this well and not, rip seats out of a ballpark and all of that. Here's your answer. Grounds crew dude putting dirt in a water bottle, handing it out. And I couldn't help but think, and I think I tweeted it out. It was pretty late last night when I saw this, but I said, John Fisher's definitely watching going, I wonder how I can charge people for this. Owner of the A's. Such a douche. But this guy's a legend.
Yeah. Listen, I got to go to Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium, played one of the last games there. And I actually got home plate and got a little, not a water bottle, but a little canister and filled it up with dirt. And then the Yankees, you know what the Yankees did?
What?
They gave us all one.
No
A
way.
little thing, it's on the wall right over there. A little canister of, see the thing under the TV?
Yeah.
Behind your plant that's died?
No, it lives forever.
That's the dirt from old Yankee Stadium. They gave it to every player. It was really super cool of the Yankees to do. They didn't have to do it, but they did it.
That's really cool. I like that a lot. Well, A's fans, we're here for you. Tomorrow.
Yeah, have a great time, A's fans. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Like, be safe. Be respectful.
Be smart and enjoy the time together. And FJF, you know what that stands for. I mean, I could say it. We're on YouTube. Fuck John Fisher, baby. Longtime San Francisco Chronicle columnist Ann Killian is at the game today. She's going to join us tomorrow. So is Nick Castellanos from the Phillies. So is Ken Rosenthal. And Dodgers territory is coming up next. Alana Rizzo and Clint Pastillas have just a few things to talk about. That show's hot lately. So check it out right now. Just stay where you are and we'll flip over. We do the channel surfing for you. See you, FT fam.